Welcome everybody to Security Buyer Live. For this session, I'm pleased to introduce you to our Innovator guest, Pedro Simoes. Pedro is the Corporate Vice President for Video Security and Analytics at Motorola Solutions. Hi, Pedro. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and talk all things video security and the future technological landscape in the industry. So to start, could you please just introduce yourself and give us a little insight into the history and heritage behind Motorola?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much, Rebecca, for today and the opportunity to talk with you today. Well, a little bit of background. I'm over 20 years in the industry, coming from organizations like Vigilon. And previous joined Motorola, I sold our company called Indigo Vision to Motorola in 2021. I believe it's a long time already. So I have been part as majority of some of the leaders of the organization coming from acquisition. And if you look the history of Motorola in the last 6 years, the quantity of companies that they acquire on the security and access control space have been tremendous, and all leading in brands in different categories. And we can go from an end-to-end solution with the Vigilon, extreme well recognized across the globe from the most robust, scalable end-to-end AI platform. At the same way, latest we have been acquired OpenPath and Ava, giving us access to where we believe the industry is driving is on the cloud side. And it's a full end-to-end experience that provide the latest and greatest technology. But at the same time, we have been acquired telco that provide you, the best experience as an independent camera manufacturer. So the idea and the vision is to provide a full portfolio that cover the desire of customers who want to use our cameras to a third-party VMS because they are happy with that platform, but at the same time, for the ones who want to really get a full experience from on-prem or cloud, a full end-to-end solution from Motorola. So have been very exciting these last years, and we look forward for the future.
Definitely, thank you. And I'm sure we'll get into a lot of the buzzwords that you just mentioned there, interoperability, scalability, the cloud. I'm sure we'll get into those in a little bit more depth later on. But to provide some context for the overall interview, could you give us an overview of the current technology trends in video security that are actively influencing the evolution of the market, like right now?
Absolutely. So different regions of the world, the adoptions are different, but overall, we are seeing the same trend, right? So we continue to see absolutely a trend on advanced video analytics, and more just not be used on the security perspective, but in another component has been able to provide insight and outcomes outside of the security. Definitely, we are living one of the fast trends in the world, in the industry, in our security industry, that is the cloud adoption. Some of us have lived from the analog to the IP. I was lucky to see that and was extremely fast. But this transformation, Rebecca, have been even faster, and the adoption of the easy to use, the mobility, the serverless solution, have been absolutely tremendous across the world. And we see it that more, we believe that by 2030, 50% of the market is going to be already on the cloud side or cloud adopters, So it's not something that we see that is going to be a future or vision of where the industry go. It's happened now, and it's really fast. And that is really exciting to be part of that. The other one is the mobile access and remote monitoring, right? Absolutely. When you sit today in a plane, I don't know if that is your experience. I don't take anymore my laptop. I go to Google and I go G Drive and I do everything, PowerPoint, and I share files, everything on the phone. Let's be honest, our customers, they want to do the same with their systems. They want to be able to search, to investigate, and to do everything across the mobility of a mobile phone or iPad. And we are providing that experience on the on-prem and on the cloud solution. So come back, advanced analytic, cloud, adoption and mobile adoption is for sure the biggest trends we are seeing in the industry.
Mm. And it's quite amusing actually when you think about it, because cloud technology, it's only seemed like it was a couple of years ago when everyone was going, I will never use the cloud. What is the cloud? I'll only be either on premise or on edge. What is this new technology? And then all of a sudden, like you said, the majority of people now are either adopting cloud technology or looking to invest in that cloud. I mean, even as an organization and a publisher, we're on cloud. So it's just something that's become a natural course of evolution. And something that has also taken that same approach, or what feels like that same atmosphere in the industry right now, is the AI revolution as well. We find ourselves in a period where at the moment there's a lot of innovation happening with AI, but there's also a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties, and manufacturers and end users are unsure how we can adopt this and how we can innovate this. So I just wanted to touch a little bit on AI before we kind of delve into cloud and video analytics. But in your opinion, from a manufacturing perspective, how does the shift towards AI and cloud technologies, I suppose, impact, product development or customer demands?
Well, it's already impacting. What we see it is a large number of end users are in large organizations, and I want to take that mindset that cloud is for small, medium business. We are seeing large organizations. And if you think about a few moments ago, we are talking about, that Motorola will run on the Gmail, platform. Probably 10 years ago, we have 2 floors on Chicago building with the racks full of servers managing our storage and our email address, and our emails and everything. As an organization, we walk away of that. And the beauty we see it is that more and more IT departments, they want to spend time in things that they need to be concerned. They don't want to spend time to do it, upgrade of a server for security reasons or a patch upgrade. If you think on the flexibility of get a system that is constantly be updated for the latest technology in security side, in the new versions, in new features, and that the ownership of the responsibility of keeping the system constantly 24 hours alive is from the manufacturer side, is absolutely giving a peace of mind to the end users to say someone is providing a high-end level quality of service and keep my system updated. On the AI, we need to ensure that we continue to create responsible AIs, right? So that we absolutely bring the latest and greatest technologies. I think was in Intersec that we miss each other, Rebecca, was to show the GAN detection, a new technology we launch. But again, the unbelievable capability that the AI together with the cloud can bring you, and the process capability that we can mix between not just on the edge device, but using the edge device together in combination with the cloud technology, give you an infinite capability of processing power. And that is the trend we're going to see it now. That is unlimited basic, right? And I believe the next few years, AI is going to continue to evolve in a way that we never lived before. So
definitely. And I agree. I think we need those guardrails and those barriers so that we can innovate in this space of technical evolution, but in a safe and responsible way. But with any kind of rapid technological evolution, as you know, there are always going to be challenges and technical difficulties. Do you mind just mentioning a couple of the technical difficulties or hurdles that we might see with the integration of AI?
Well, I believe that the responsible AI make us as a manufacturers always looking to follow the rules and the principles that and the guidance that give to us. We have been very successful with the acquisition of Avigilon that has a large portfolio of IPs on the AI. We have specific groups developing technology constantly. But I want to move the conversation not just on the AI, because I believe AI is a component of everything. What I would like, if you allow me, Rebecca, is to take you on the big differentiation, right, of the entire ecosystem that Motorola can provide that no one else in the industry can. And that is started absolutely from AI, from the detect side. And we can detect not just from the camera, but from a body worn, from a fire detector, for a panic alert and button. Then we have the AI capability to analyze that on the video analytics, or it's a license plate, or it's a decision management platform of Motorola. But at the same time, be proactive and immediately not just analyze, but report and communicate that to our LMR communication radio or broadband or mass notification system, and absolutely at the end of the funnel to manage the situation. What is important for us is that timely information for people to make faster decisions and close the response gap. That is where we see that is managing the incident end to end. And absolutely, that is the value proposition of Motorola, that coming from all these segments and unify that ecosystem, today we can provide something that is completely different than anyone in the industry.
And just to, I completely agree with that notion that AI does enable a whole host of opportunities for video surveillance and analytics in the market, and particularly in terms of data. And like I said, in the context of proactive security, how can end users utilize kind of that real-time data that we're talking about to anticipate, not just anticipate, but also respond to potential threats before escalation?
Well, in our ecosystem, and that was the point I was referring to you. So we can have imagine a situation that someone is detected in a region that is supposed to not be, okay? Our systems, if we provide our end-to-end ecosystem, not just be able to detect someone is there, but be able to notify the right person that someone is not there. And probably the right person is not the person on the control room, but if it's someone, a guard that is carrying a Motorola radio, I can immediately notify him and say, look, there is someone in the wrong place, and all the system is providing all this workflow across all the different equipments of Motorola, and unify all this through a unique workflow. And that is the value proposition that is unique.
Definitely. And just quickly, what end applications is real-time data typically used in? Is it kind of critical infrastructure, office environments, or is it that scalable?
Look, we see in every different application. In Europe, we don't have the challenges of some of the unfortunate situations on the schools in the US. But the reality is that the beauty of the industry we are, Rebecca, is that we need to constantly looking for innovation, and because unfortunately the threats are faster than the technology sometimes, and that at the same coming on the direction that of our new message that we launch this year, solving for safer, that is basically the message of our organization. We believe that this is a constantly process, that we are look for new technologies, new ways to protect people, providing new end-to-end solutions or components that help us to the threats that are constantly appear. And I was just mentioned, but imagine a situation in a school shooting, that we detect someone that is carrying a gun, and we can notify the school and lock down all the doors so the individual cannot go inside. At the same time, with LPR, we are reading the plate of the car because he doesn't get inside of the school. We have notified 911 by our incident management. So all this is a reality, is not a movie, a vision. It's something that today we are supplying, and we can support our customers with the technologies.
Definitely. And obviously with all this kind of data that we're talking about, with data comes storage. And what's the market in more demand of? Obviously we've spoken a bit about the cloud adoption that we've seen recently, but is it still definitely cloud, edge, or on premise, or is there a more hybrid solution that is taking precedence at the moment?
We see both. The technology allow you to both options, right? So you still can record it locally for the period of time you want, and if you want to just send it, a piece of days or a select period of time to the cloud storage, you can do it. Basic, that is an end user decision more than anything. The importance is that is the technology to be scalable, is capable to provide different directions and different flavors of the desire of the customer, what fits better for the purpose. And when we design something always that is scalable, that allow the customer to utilize and to take the best outcomes of the system to solving their problem. And that is where we are focused.
And just to hover for a second on that word scalability, earlier you mentioned the notion of moving away from the cloud being kind of penned into this ideal of just a small or medium type kind of business or utilization. What is the importance of scalability for an end user and a customer in the grand scheme of things?
First of all, we need to analyze what vertical the customer we are talking about, and absolutely, as I mentioned before, there is a massive adoption of cloud, but we need to realize there is certain type of customers that are not going to move to cloud or are not going to move now or even in the next 5 years. And the reason is, certain critical infrastructures that are not allowed to connect to internet at all. And they need to be keep it completely independent out of any backbone to the internet, So there is, and that is the beauty of Motorola, is that we continue to provide innovation, not just on the cloud, but on the on-prem technology in both ways, because we understand that there is customers that are not going to move because of their topology or laws or any regulation that are going to limit them to move to the cloud, specifically Middle East, for example. We know there is more. It's going to be a slower adoption to that for regulations, but they will get there. In terms of scalability, the reality is that we see more and more systems. People don't want to buy something that they are limited, that they know cannot scale, or in the future is not going to integrate with more things that probably today they are not seeing the desire to that, but they want to have the openness of the system to be able to integrate on other things, And when I present to you the possibility of the workflows and the ecosystem, maybe today you don't have the desire of a radio communication in your facility. You don't need it. You are not utilizing that. Or even you are not a Motorola radio customer, But sometimes just to know that if you acquire a video system that has the future capability to connect to a radio and provide alerts in real time, it's something that you are not using now, but you want to use in the future. So it's fundamental to build systems that provide future capabilities and are scalable enough to follow the desire and the change on our customers, what they are looking as outcomes.
Definitely. And I think you raise a very good point in terms of future-proofing systems. We've spoken about all these different technologies that are constantly changing and evolving over just the past 10 years or so, and let alone even longer than that. And when it comes to a business that's looking to protect themselves or protect infrastructure or so on and so forth, that sustainability objectives as well, to make sure that you're not just completely overhauling an entire solution every other year, for example, but to be able to tweak and change and introduce new technologies or new systems or new aspects to that solution, I think is incredibly important for businesses. And we've got this, it's undeniable that we've got this heightened emphasis starting to come into business kind of overall objectives, I suppose, in terms of the sustainability effort. So I think future-proofing and scalability is massively important. in terms of a user trend. And just lastly as well, you touched on integration, and that brings me nicely to kind of the last point that I wanted to raise. Another kind of central theme and trend that we're seeing at the moment in the industry is interoperability, and how important interoperability is in providing a comprehensive security solution. And obviously Motorola is probably a fantastic case in point for this, because you have so many different kind of companies that you acquire that you're interoperable with, that your technology is interoperable with. So how does this come to play for the surveillance market? How important is this aspect?
I think it's fundamental, integrate response, but more important, I think you touch on that. I think we resume everything to a future proving, right? Technology is also always evolving, and systems that allow easier upgrade and inclusion of new technologies as they become available is fundamental. So absolutely, we acquire all these companies. We have been integrate them. Today, we have two major brands that we drive. One is a Vigilon, where you have a Vigilon Auto that give you the cloud solution, or a Vigilon Unity that give you on-prem solution. For the other side, we want to give the access to the technology and redefine what we envision to see what is going to be a camera in the future. So we bought Pelco and we have refreshed the line. And now we are making these cameras even more smarter by able to connect them to the cloud and provide, even in third-party VMS, ability to get access to AI technology through cloud connections. So future-proof, and integrate response have been the main focus when we put a product together, when we acquire an organization. Latest, as you are aware, we have acquired a company called IP Video that everybody knows has a halo sensor that is probably the most famous sensor in the world in terms of smoke detection, presence, and a bunch of other things that they do that are unique. And for us, is another product that need to be part of that integrate solution ecosystem, future-proof technology. So that is a main area for us, Rebecca.
Fantastic. And lastly, obviously, we've spoken a lot about trends that are clearly distinguishable at the moment in time, and what we kind of expect to see, coming up in the next, year or so. But is there anything kind of in the long term that you're expecting to see come to fruition?
Well, that is a great question. And looking what we have accomplished in the last 3 years in the industry itself, and in Motorola in particular, with also greatest technologies that we have been able to put outside to our customer base, I think the vision and the direction continue to be the same. We believe that AI is going to continue to drive different outcomes, okay, and provide more data and information to people to be utilized in different ways. Second is easier to use. More and more the products need to be not just in a UX perspective, but how to install, and how to plug in, and how quickly to put a system live and working. So an easy to use experience, and if you look 5 years ago compared to today, today I can send you to my daughter one of our cameras. She has a mobile phone. She scanned the QR codes. She log in, create an account, and immediately she's alive, with the camera. And that is true. It's so ridiculous the level of easy to use that we arrive in terms of technology, and so easy to use that is a great point. And finally, I believe that more and more, as an end user, my desire is be able to have access to a large portion of information in my simple mobile phone. Okay, so I think more and more we're going to see a trend that more capability in terms of leverage all this data, as you refer, Rebecca, but all these functionalities and all that capability that we are able from a mobile application, from a mobile device. So I see that trend coming and continue to evolve in the next years.
Definitely the rise of the peacock credential. But no, well, fantastic. And unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. But Pedro, thank you so much for taking the time to talk all things video security and cloud technology with me. I really appreciate your time. And if anybody has any further questions, they can reach out to Pedro either directly or on the platform. Thank you for your time, Pedro.
Absolutely, Rebecca. Thank you for today. Thank you.